Hey and welcome to the Daily Arsenal News Show. Let's begin with our daily news. Arsenal set to hand Gabriel Martinelli a £200,000 a week contract. Gabriel Martinelli is on the verge of signing a new Arsenal contract, which will see his wages almost triple to £200,000 a week, according to a report from the Daily Mail. Martinelli looks set to hand the Gunners a massive boost ahead of the second half of the season. The 21-year-old has been absolutely outstanding this season for Mikel Arteta's man. There had been speculation that he was attracting attention. Sport in Spain reported on Tuesday that Barcelona had asked about the forward. It was noted that they were watching him during the World Cup. However, the Brazilian had reportedly decided that he wanted to stay at the Emirates, and the Catalan Giants had been informed that he was not keen to join them. And the Daily Mail is now reporting that he is set to sign a new deal with Arsenal. The report claims that his wages are set to rise from £70,000 a week to £200,000 a week, making Martinelli one of the highest earners in Arteta's squad. Previous reports from the Daily Mail suggested that Martinelli was looking for £200,000 a week terms with the Premier League leaders, so clearly he will be delighted with the Gunners' offers. It's fantastic news for Arsenal. Martinelli has been superb ever since his arrival, and he has kicked on to another level during this campaign. He has scored 5 times in the Premier League this term, and he is a key part of the devastating forward line. He has been described as a special talent, and Arsenal will be holding out hope that he can be a key player for years to come. There is going to be interest in the future, but clearly Martinelli has no intention of going anywhere for the time being. David Beckham praises Arsenal man Bukayo Saka for his World Cup performance. David Beckham has named Bukayo Saka as one of the top players England had at the Qatar 2022 FIFA World Cup, even though the Three Lions exited the competition at the quarter-final stage. Saka had been an important contributor to their progress after scoring twice in his first game against Iran, and he continued to do well when he started for his nation. The attacker is now one of the important members of the Three Lions squad, and Beckham believes he is of a high grade. He said the following: "We have got players who have been part of this team now for many years. You look at the quality of Bukayo Saka, and then you look at the quality of Jude Bellingham and the players that we have coming through in our country. I think it's a real positive. These tournaments, whether you win them or get knocked out early, it's always an experience that you can take on to the next game or the next tournament." Saka has really matured, and it's great to see that he is now being praised by some former top players who know what it means to deliver at the highest level. He's still so young, and we expect him to maintain this high level even at the peak of his career, when he probably has won a few trophies for club and country. Arsenal legend raises concerns about Ben White after World Cup exit. Former Arsenal midfielder Emmanuel Petit has admitted he has some concerns about Ben White after the weird nature of his departure from England's World Cup squad. The Gunners will no doubt be eager for White to get back to the kind of form he showed in the first half of the season, with the former Brighton defender's super performances at right back helping the club go 5 points clear at the top of the Premier League table. Still, White followed that up by surprisingly leaving England's World Cup squad in mysterious circumstances, with no reason ever being officially confirmed. There had been speculation about some issues with his teammates in Qatar, as reported by the Daily Star, and Petit admits he was surprised by what took place. The Frenchman, who won the double with Arsenal back in 97-98, now also has some concern about how White will bounce back from this strange incident. Petit told Mega Casino, as quoted by the Metro, the following: "Ben White, what happened to him was really weird. He left the national team because he had an argument with someone. Come on, it's a World Cup. This is a once-in-a-lifetime event. If something happened, it must have been very serious for him to leave. We all know what it means to wear the national shirt, How will his state of mind be? Will he be the same player after he took the big decision to leave the England squad? Will he get a nasty reception when he plays in away stadiums? This is unprecedented in the history of football, and I have no idea what will happen when the teams go back, Petit said. Arsenal have made serious offer for Arda Guler. Arsenal have made a serious offer for Fenerbahce prodigy Arda Guler. According to Takvim, the Turkish outlet, via Turkish Football, claimed the Gunners are one of 4 clubs who have registered offers, as well as Arsenal. The likes of Paris Saint-Germain, Borussia Dortmund and Ajax are also in pursuit. Over the past few years, the Gunners have done well in signing talented prospects and turning them into stars. The likes of William Saliba and Gabriel Martinelli have flourished at Arsenal, and this year we are seeing Marquinhos and Fabio Vieira developing into very promising players. Meanwhile, Guler is one of the most highly rated teenagers in the game and is already a regular for Fenerbahce. The 17-year-old has made 29 competitive appearances for his club and has won 1 Turkey Cup. Aksam, via the Liverpool Echo, claimed in the summer that Fenerbahce value Guler at just under £22 million. However, more recent reports suggest Arsenal or any other suitors could land him for less. Journalist Walter Di Maggio revealed on Radio Goal that Guler has a variable release clause inserted in his contract. He will apparently be available for just £4.3 million if he plays less than 1,500 minutes of football. However, if he is on the pitch for more than that period of time, the clause will go up to £17.3 million. Understandably, Vener President Ali Koch wants Guler to stay at the club until the end of the season. This is probably easier said than done, however, amid some of Europe's elite circling with a view to a January deal. Arsenal make contact with agents of Enzo Fernandez. Arsenal have made contact with the agent of Enzo Fernandez as the race for his signature heads up, according to a report from El Jogo. Fernandez, of course, is now a household name after helping Argentina win the World Cup. The 21-year-old looked set for a more peripheral role in Qatar. However, by the end of the tournament, he had become a key man for Lionel Scaloni's men, and it seems that his performances made a number of teams sit up and take notice. In fact, the list of clubs in Ojogo's piece goes into double figures, with Arsenal amongst those to have now made contact with his agent about a potential move. As noted in the report via Foot Mercato, Benfica have little intention of accepting a bid for Fernandez. Instead, any side looking to sign the youngster is going to have to be prepared to trigger his £105 million release clause. The report notes that Liverpool are leading the charge for the central midfielder, so the likes of Arsenal, Tottenham and Chelsea have got some work to do to secure his signature. It would be a surprise if Arsenal were willing to make such a bid for Fernandez. He is an unbelievable talent with a huge future ahead. However, central midfield is probably no longer the priority for the Gunners next month. With that, it's hard to see Mikel Arteta's man triggering his release clause, but it would be an amazing statement if they did make a serious push to sign him. Arsenal appear to be underdogs in this particular race, but it's exciting that they have put themselves in the conversation. Arsenal told to prepare to pay a high price for their La Liga target Joao Felix. Arsenal wants to add Joao Felix to their squad in the next transfer window or at the end of this season, but he will not come cheap. The attacker has fallen out with his manager at Atletico Madrid, and the Spanish side seems prepared to allow him to leave them. Arsenal has lost Gabriel Jesus to a long-term injury, which could force them to make January purchases. However, they might need help to get the cash to purchase Felix, even though Atleti has now decided to cash in on him. Sky Sports' Darmstadt has now delivered an update on the situation of things and insisted he will be an expensive player to buy. He tells Give Me Sport the following: "I think he would be a great addition to any front line. It's just gone a little bit sour. If you listen to all the reports emanating out of Madrid between himself and Diego Simeone, Atletico Madrid might be pushing the sale of Joao Felix. but it will be in Atletico's interest to have as many clubs interested in Joao Felix as possible because if they are going to sell, they will want to create a situation that would push his price up. Felix has been a fantastic player in the last few seasons, and he certainly will make an impact on our team if we add him to the group. However, an expensive purchase is better suited for the end of the season when we have a bigger budget. Journalists insist Arsenal will not pursue a deal for Wolves star Pedro Neto in January. Pedro Neto is one of the exciting young wingers in the Premier League, and Arsenal has been linked with a move for him for much of the last 2 seasons. The Portuguese star is a top player able to change a game single-handedly on his day, but injuries have hit him in the last few seasons and continue to plague him. He's still 22, so he will have time to get over his injuries and become one of the best in European football. However, a move to Arsenal will likely not happen now. The Gunners could target new attackers when the transfer window reopens, which will bring back rumors that they want Neto. But Football London's Kaya Kainak does not think the Gunners will move for him in the next transfer window. He said the following: "I'd be really surprised if that happened in January, just because he's been dealing with a lot of injuries this season. He's just come back from an injury. I think it kept him out for nearly a year. I think he fractured his kneecap, which sounds one of the most ridiculously painful injuries I have ever heard of, but I really liked him in the season before he got injured." Neto has been a superb Premier League attacker and will make a difference to our game if we add him to our squad. However, it makes little sense to buy a player that has struggled with injuries for much of this season in the middle of the campaign. We need to give him time to prove he can stay fit before making a move for him. Arsenal reportedly set sights on Dusan Vlahovic. Arsenal are once again being linked with Dusan Vlahovic. Earlier this month, Calciomercato claimed the Gunners had put the Serbia international back on their shortlist. Arsenal will reportedly be without Gabriel Jesus for 3 months after he underwent knee surgery. This has dealt the Gunners a blow in their hopes of continuing to challenge for the Premier League title. As a result, the Arsenal transfer rumour is now focusing on new recruits up front. The Gunners were linked with Vlahovic a year ago, but he opted to swap Fiorentina for Juventus. However, things haven't quite gone to plan in Turin, the club somewhat underperforming this season. This, in addition to off-the-field issues at Juve, has reportedly led to Vlahovic's camp considering their options. Now, Corriere dello Sport, via Sport Witness, has provided an update on Arsenal's pursuit of the 22-year-old. The outlet claims most of the attention towards Vlahovic is coming from the Premier League. Arsenal, Manchester United and Chelsea are reportedly all in pursuit of the player. The outlet also recalls the Gunners' previous attempt to sign him. When it comes to Mikel Arteta's side, they have apparently been called to go all in to win the Premier League. However, they must try to do so without Jesus, hence their renewed interest in Vlahovic. CDS makes it clear that his refusal last year has already been forgotten, and in terms of price tag, an offer of no less than £79 million or €90 million will be needed to get Juve's attention. Vlahovic is a real force of nature, a 6 feet and 3 inches powerhouse of a striker with impressive goal-scoring tallies in recent years. Last term, he registered 24 goals and 5 assists from 36 Serie A games. This season, Vlahovic hasn't quite been at his very best, but Juve as a whole haven't been great. Understandably, the Bianconeri don't seem interested in selling him short of a huge fee, but if Vlahovic does decide to up sticks in January, Arsenal would be a good shot. He'd be almost guaranteed to start while Jesus is on the sidelines, after which he'd vie with Jesus for minutes. However, would Arsenal shell out £79 million on one player mid-season? That remains to be seen. Club director confirms Arsenal want to sign Mykhailo Mudryk. Arsenal have been heavily linked with Mykhailo Mudryk in recent months. There was talk of the Gunners swooping for the Shakhtar Donetsk star in the summer transfer window, and even though a move didn't materialize, Mudryk has made no secret of how much he likes Arsenal. The 21-year-old has also spoken of his desire to move to a big club. Now, Shakhtar Vice Sporting Director Carlo Nicolini has admitted that Arsenal have been eyeing Mudryk. As quoted by calciomercato.it, Nicolini said, "Today Mudryk has received the message that he needs to be present at the restart of training in Antalya. Arsenal is a club interested, I can't deny it." On top of Nicolini confirming that the Gunners want Mudryk, it's also interesting to see Nicolini stress that the player needs to report to training. Over the past few weeks, club and player appear to have had disagreements over his price tag. Shakhtar director of football Dario Serna previously said Mudryk would cost 100 million euros. In response, the attacking talent issued a scathing reply in which he said he was very upset over what he felt was a prohibitive valuation. Arsenal fans won't be unfamiliar with long, drawn-out transfer sagas. There have been plenty over the years, but unlike many of those that seem to revolve around reports, this one involves the player and club figures making public admissions. With this in mind, it really looks as though Arsenal have a great chance of landing the incredible player. I will be uploading daily Arsenal news show, so keep your eyes on the channel and don't forget to like and subscribe. I appreciate your support. Peace out.